Hi friends, welcome back to our channel totalgear.com. In the totalgear.com we have already posted a lot of videos in different playlists: WebDriver, Java, TestNG, GitHub, REST API tutorial, CSS tutorial and XPath tutorial. You will find one more playlist mainly for the Jenkins. As part of the Jenkins tutorial, we are going to discuss about Jenkins part 2. For Jenkins part 1, in the description of this video, the Jenkins part 1 link will be updated. You can check and start with Jenkins part 1 to get an idea about Jenkins before you get into the Jenkins part 2. In Jenkins part 2, mainly we focus on pipeline, manage Jenkins, environmental variables, Jenkins backup, dependency between the jobs, how do you create a build pipeline view, scripted pipeline view, descripted pipeline as well, snippet generator, open BlueOcean, running the Jenkins file via GitHub. So all these topics we are going to cover in the Jenkins part 2. Let's start with pipeline. What is a pipeline? So a pipeline is mainly useful to integrate the continuous integration and delivery using the different set of plugins. Using the different set of plugins in Jenkins. So we are always talking about creating a pipeline. The pipeline is nothing but integration of continuous integration and the delivery using different set of plugins in Jenkins. Now the next thing, manage Jenkins. How are we going to manage Jenkins? In manage Jenkins, we have so many options like system configuration, configure system, global tool configuration, and also manage plugins. These three are important under manage Jenkins. Let's look into configure system. What is the content of configure system? Let's open Jenkins. I already opened Jenkins now. So under Jenkins, when I click on Jenkins, go to manage Jenkins. I click on manage Jenkins. Under manage Jenkins, you see different options like configure system, configure, this is mainly for global tool configuration, and manage Jenkins. These three are important. In the case of configure system, takes time to open the configure system. In the configure system, you will find the home directory, the location where the Jenkins has been installed. If you want to take a backup, if you would like to take a backup of Jenkins, we have to navigate to this path, take the content of entire folder as a backup before we upgrade Jenkins. And here we can provide the location, the Maven project configuration we can provide, and also you have to provide especially the information about any plugins. Mainly we have to provide here on the Git plugin information and SMTP. Suppose if you are interested to send an email while the job is successfully executed, and if you would like to send the email of the job information, you have to provide the SMTP server details and also the type, the content of the mail, and all the information. If you provide, the mail will be sent to the intended recipient. So all the information about the system like the Jenkins configuration will be provided under Jenkins configuration. The main important thing is the Maven project configuration. Suppose if you are using any Maven project specific configuration, you can keep it here. And next thing under manage Jenkins is, you can look into global tool configuration. This is very important. Global tool, as the name suggests, we have to give the configuration of all the tools which we use on top of Jenkins. If you look at here, the JDK installation path, the path where the JDK is getting installed, the Git location where the Git is getting installed. If you don't provide Git location, you cannot download the code from GitHub. The prerequisite for downloading GitHub is we have to download Git in the laptop and provide the location of the Git which is installed in the laptop. It is important to download the code from GitHub. For that reason, the prerequisite is Git is required. Similarly, Gradle, instead of Maven if you are using Gradle, or Mant, any information about the tools you have to provide here, JDK, Git, and also Maven information. If you are using any Maven settings, you have to update it here. The major things, the two major things are mainly here is the JDK and also the Git, but especially Git and JDK, both we have to install manually and provide the location of the Java home and the path to the executable file we have to provide. In some cases, if you don't provide this git.exe, you cannot download the code. It is important that we have to provide the location of the git.exe under global tool configuration under Jenkins. Now, next thing, under Jenkins, manage Jenkins, the next important thing under manage Jenkins is manage plugins. As I said, Jenkins can be extended. Jenkins features can be extended by downloading set of plugins. So if you want to download any plugin which is not available here, you can go to advanced section and try to provide the location of the HPI file which is downloaded in our laptop. First thing is we need to download a plugin. For downloading a plugin, there is a link already available. This link contains all the necessary plugins which we can download on top of Jenkins. So here, this path I will provide here for manage plugins. First, we have to navigate to this path, understand which plugin to be used. You click on any plugin, it will download as a HPI file. Downloads as a HPI file, .hpi file. Then you open Jenkins. You go to manage plugins, plugin manager. You can select choose file. That's it. It will try to help you to select the path. Okay. That is how you have to download any plugin under manage plugins. Click on upload. That's it. It will automatically, the plugin will be updated. You can restart your Jenkins. How are we going to restart your Jenkins? If you want to restart your Jenkins, just open services.msc. Once the plugin is successfully uploaded, just open services.msc. Select Jenkins and try to open here, and you have to stop and start. Once the plugins are installed successfully on Jenkins, we have to start and stop the Jenkins. So this is how you can download any plugin from this website. Download any plugin from this website and the specific version, then navigate to manage Jenkins, manage plugins, then under advanced section you can select choose file. It will help you to select a file which is downloaded in our laptop. That should be HPI file. That should be HPI file. You can look out the extension here. It shows it is a HPI file. When you click on choose file, it will help you to select the file installed in our laptop. Okay, so this is how we download plugins on Jenkins to extend the features of Jenkins. Now, next step, environmental variables. So in Jenkins, there are set of environmental variables already available. We can see all the environmental variables under env_was.html. We can see these are all the environmental variables which will be set to some value. Suppose, for example, if you look at workspace, there is an environmental variable called workspace. The absolute path of the directory assigned to the build as a workspace. Suppose in my script, in my Jenkins job, I wanted to use this environmental variable. Very simple. Copy this Go back to the job. So go back to this job. In this job, open this job, click on configure. Under build, you can put this command as echo $this environmental variable name. Click on apply, save, click on build now. The build is getting triggered. Click on the job ID, click on console. You can find the location of this echo $workspace. So it is giving, okay, let me just put remote $. 1 second. So here, instead of $, you provide percentage, the environmental variable. Click on apply, save, and build now. And click on the job ID, go to console output. So we can see the information here. So any environmental variable information can be executed by giving echo percentage the environmental variable name. You can see the contents of the environmental variable. Okay, so this is the advantage of this. So the path is, this is the path. Any environmental variable, suppose for example we need to know the build ID, the current build ID. If you want to print, copy this, go to the job configuration, here echo percentage the build ID percentage, click on apply, save. You can even print the build ID as well. The current build is in execution. Click on that. So you can use any environmental variable in Jenkins. You can see the job ID is fine, the build ID is fine. So that is the advantage. I'll copy this, put it in Notepad for our information. How are we going to print environmental variables? Yeah, echo. We have seen some different examples. Echo percentage workspace, echo percentage build ID. Okay, now, and not only that, suppose if you want to define these environmental variables at the Jenkins level, if you want to define our user defined environmental variables, these are all already defined by predefined by Jenkins. But if you would like to create our own environmental variables, that's also possible in Jenkins. What we have to do for that is go to manage Jenkins, configure system, under configure system. If you see the global properties, we can provide the name of the environmental variable and we can give the name of the value of the environmental variable. Suppose if you want to give the path, say the repository URL, I can copy, this is the repository URL. I can go to Jenkins and under configuration I can provide this URL. So wherever you need this repository URL, you can simply use selenium underscore repo percentage selenium underscore repo percentage. That's it. Apply, save. That's it. Then go back to the job again. Configure, we can provide echo selenium repo, right? So this is the one we had given. Let's see. Run Jenkins. Here configure system, right click, open in a new window. That's also possible. You can open in a new window. so that we can identify what is the environmental variable we have created. Yeah, you can see the name somewhere we had given under. Yeah, you can see selenium underscore repo. Try to put selenium underscore repo. Try to put the selenium underscore repo. That's it. You can access any environmental variable which we create can be accessed within the job. Will now click on it. Console output. You can see. You can even print the repository URL. Right. So now this is how we can even use predefined environmental variables. Predefined environmental variables. How are we going to define them? How to define them under Jenkins, manage Jenkins, configure system. Under configure system, we have to provide under global properties. So under global properties, we can define our own environmental variable like a key value pair. We can give the key anywhere in the program as C echo percentage selenium. Now, how are we going to take a Jenkins backup? It's very simple. If you want to take a backup of Jenkins, you have to navigate to this location and take this entire folder location into consideration. Means, if you look at here Jenkins, this entire folder location has to be taken into consideration for taking the backup of Jenkins. So the location you have to take into consideration, that's it. That is important for us to take a backup of the Jenkins. Now, how are we going to create a dependency between the jobs? Suppose here the dependency between the jobs, let's take two jobs. First thing, we will check Google Health check, mainly to validate the Google is up and running, to validate Google website is up and running. If it is successful, this check is successful, then call the dependency job as execute regression test on Google, right? So this is our dependency you want to create. So for this we need two different jobs, one job to check the health check, another job to execute the test cases on Google. So we already created two different jobs. This is already clearly explained in the part 1, how to create jobs, how are we going to execute test cases on a browser via GitHub and Jenkins. So if you go to this total QA view, in the total QA view, we have two different jobs. This is health check, this is regression test case on Google. Open Google Health Check. Try to click on configure. If you scroll down, you will see post build action, then build other projects. Here we have to give the name of the job which we wanted to execute. So right click and open total QA view and try to copy this job. Go here, put it here, apply, trigger only if the build is stable. So when are we going to trigger this job? Only this Google Health Check job is successful, only this job will be triggered. Apply, save. When you do that, you can see there is a downstream project already shown under this job. So the dependency is, if this job is successful only, this will be getting triggered. Okay, if this job is successful only, this will be getting triggered. So that is the objective. So we already created a dependency. How we create a dependency? Go to the job, click on configure. Under post build actions, build other projects, provide the project name. So mention the same. How are we going to create a dependency between the jobs? So you can say post build actions. Mention projects to build. Give the job name and select the option execute only the build is stable, right? So this is how you create a dependency between the jobs. So once you create a dependency between the jobs, you have to see the pipeline view. Means this job is depending on this job, or this job will execute after this job. So now for job 1, the downstream job is job 2. For job 2, upstream job is job 1. So you have to get some understanding about downstream job, upstream job. This is a terminology. For a job 1, what is the downstream job? Job 2. For job 2, what is the upstream job? Job 1. Because there is a dependency between these jobs. You can identify the same. If you go to Google Health Check example, it shows the downstream projects as this. If you go to this job, the upstream project as this. I think there is already one run is happening. I'll stop it. So the upstream project for this is regression test cases is health check example. For health check example, the downstream is this job. So this is how you have to get an idea. First thing is health check. What is the main objective of health check? To check the application is up and running. Then we will run the regression test cases. So I'll just keep it here for our understanding. Job 1 is this, and also, and this is job 2. Similarly, for job 2, the upstream job is Google example. So this terminology, we should be having some idea what is the downstream, what is the upstream jobs getting triggered. Next thing, build pipeline view. Can I view this dependency in a pipeline view? Yes, it is possible. For seeing this in a pipeline view, we have to download a plugin. The plugin name is Build Pipeline View. That's a plugin name. What's a pipeline? What's a view? What's a plugin name? Build Pipeline View. It is a build pipeline view. For the build pipeline view, we have to download this plugin. Build pipeline plugin. Click on 1.5.8. It will download the HPI file. Try to upload the HPI file. The plugin will be successfully installed. If you wanted to know the information about this plugin, you can even refer to this link here. It shows the pipeline plugin, and you can scroll down and see the advantage of this. You can see the pipeline view. The documentation, if you go. The documentation, if you just scroll down, you will find some information about the uses of this plugin. Okay, overview. You see here, this is how it will show in a pipeline view. It looks very good, right? So because we know one job is depending on another job, we create a pipeline view. Once we download this plugin, how are we going to download this plugin? As I said previously, you have to go to manage plugins and try to go to advanced, select this plugin, download this plugin, and try to provide the location where it is downloaded. You can successfully install this plugin in our laptop. Once you download this plugin successfully in our laptop, what is the next step is you have to click on new. You have to click on new view. You have to select the build pipeline view and give the view name and try to select the upstream job. It's always important for the build pipeline view. This option will not be visible if you don't download the build pipeline plugin. This option has to be visible, means you have to download this plugin successfully. I'll provide this location. For the pipeline view, the plugin has to be downloaded is this. Then create a view. While creating view, select the option. What is the option you have to select here? The option we have to select here is, once again, the build pipeline view selection we have to select. And in the build pipeline view, we have to provide the upstream job here. What is upstream job here for us? The upstream job is Google Health Check example. I already provided. Let me show you. I created already a pipeline view for our understanding. So this is the total QA pipeline view already created. Open that. In this total QA pipeline view, if you look at, this is the upstream job, this is the downstream job. So this is a pipeline view which will give an understanding about the dependency between the jobs. Okay, let's move on. Scripted pipeline or descriptive pipeline or declarative pipeline. Anything is fine. Scripted pipeline, descriptive pipeline. So what are these two pipelines? Starting from Jenkins specific version. Let me show the Jenkins version which we have installed. Manage Jenkins. If you go to manage Jenkins. So what is the Jenkins version I have installed in my laptop? If you scroll down, you will find the Jenkins version which I have installed in my laptop is Jenkins version 2.222.1. Then let me maximize this. Just go back. So scroll down, you will find this Jenkins name. This is the version which I have installed in the laptop. Okay, and starting from 2.0, Jenkins had come back with a pipeline script that has to be written in a Groovy language. Pipeline script has been implemented in Jenkins. Let me put it here. The pipeline script has been implemented in Jenkins starting from 2.0. Let me put this information here. Pipeline script starting from Jenkins 2.0 or later, Jenkins had come back with a scripting language has to be used to execute the steps. Mainly that language is Groovy language we have to use to execute the steps. Groovy language is preferred to execute the steps. So how are we going to create a pipeline script? How are we going to use this pipeline script in Jenkins 2.0 or later? So let me show an example now. If you go to Jenkins, I'm going to create a new item. Observe carefully. New item. I think Jenkins is going to shut down. It's okay, not an issue. You can give the name as pipeline script. Here you can see, select this pipeline, click on OK. And if you scroll down, you have the pipeline script content. You can try to type the script. Any script you can type. Any script you can write down. But what are the different ways of writing the script? Okay, there are two different ways of writing the script. One is scripted pipeline. One is declarative pipeline. We can call it descriptive or declarative pipeline. The difference is the syntax is different. Both will be helpful for us to write the commands, especially in the case of scripted. It will start with node. Okay, in the case of declarative, it will start with pipeline. That's the difference. The top node is pipeline in the case of declarative, but in the case of scripted, it is node. Let's look into scripted pipeline one example and also declarative pipeline one example. But before we go ahead and write, we need some some understanding about Groovy language. How are we going to write these scripts? So our understanding that in Jenkins, if you scroll down, you will find pipeline syntax. Click on the pipeline syntax, it will open in a new tab. Under this, suppose for example, I wanted to write a script to download the code from GitHub for a specific branch. You have to select the sample step as Git. To select the sample step as Git, let me select sample step as Git here. Then the repository URL. What is the repository URL for us? The repository URL is this. Copy that. Go to here, provide the repository URL. What is the branch name? The branch name is modify license branch, the branch name. Go here, provide the branch name as this, and try to scroll down. You can generate pipeline script. The pipeline script is getting created automatically without putting any effort. So how are we going to achieve this? Go to the job. In the job configuration, click on pipeline syntax. It will open. Here we can select the sample step. Accordingly, it will try to create a statement. I'll copy the statement. This is what I need. First thing, we will try to put this statement in the top. This is a statement that is getting generated by the snippet, by the snippet generator, right? So we'll keep this snippet generator here. The snippet generator generates this command successfully for us. Okay, now in the scripted pipeline, mainly, as I said, Node. Let's try to write some commands. In the case of Node, we will try to implement this one. So especially in the case of Node, write down here, you put, say, we all know try catch block, right? But before we put try catch block, we should know how do we write the steps. If you want to write the steps, it is important we have to use a keyword called stage. Say download code. Under download code, you can put one statement as this one. What is the statement? We got it here. Just now we put this statement here. Copy this, put it here. That's it. Under the stage download code, we are trying to trigger this command. Apply, save. And click on build now. See what happens. Click on this job one. And we can see the results are getting downloaded. The code is getting downloaded successfully. How can we see the code is downloaded successfully? You can scroll up, you can find the job name pipeline script. You can go to workspace. There's a workspace will be getting generated. Click on pipeline 1. Okay, you see here the workspace. Under the workspace, you will see the location of the code. The code is getting downloaded successfully under this. So Node is importantly used for the scripted pipeline, and I put a stage under this. Very simple. I'll put the script there. This is the command I have used for this. Similarly, we'll just try to format this so it will be easy for us to refer this as well as in the notepad. Now coming to declarative pipeline, how are we going to write the script? Copy the same thing, the pipeline thing, go here, put it here. But under the pipeline thing, we have to say that we have to execute this pipeline on any machine. Especially we can execute this script on Docker. We can execute this script on any other machine also, on any node, but right now we are putting none. It means we are saying please, none means it will execute on this machine, or you can even put any machine available, you can try to execute. You can put any, means that we wanted to execute the script on any machine or a specific Docker or a specific node. We will discuss all these things in the part 3 of the tutorial. What is a Docker? How are we going to run this script on a Docker? How are we going to run this script on a Windows node as a slave? That we will discuss in the part 3. But as of now, just put agent any. Under that you have stages. you have a stage, but you put here again download code. A small change in the syntax, but more or less both are same. Scripted and declarative both are same. Under the stage you have to put steps here. Then under the steps you have to put the actual command. At the stage you have steps, you have to put the actual command. I will put this command there. That's it. So you have agent any, we are saying that execute on any agent, there is no restriction. Stages, under stage you have stage, and steps you have a git branch zones information. Click on apply save. This is about declarative or a descriptive pipeline. Just click on this, open and see the console output. Start of the pipeline, you can see. It will take some time to download the code. So meanwhile, I'll copy the script, put it in the notepad. Copy this information, put it in the notepad. And we can even do formatting of that agent any. Okay, so this is for declarative pipeline. Now if you go back and see the job is successful, yes, the job is successful for this also. And you can see the stage view. When you open this, you can see the stage view because the download code is a stage name which we had given in the script. And not only that, you can execute any command, especially by generating via snippet generator. Configure. You can go scroll down, find out snippet generator. As I said, the snippet generator, the pipeline syntax, will be helpful for you to execute any command. Suppose you say echo print message. You want to print something. The message is say download the code, download successful. Generate pipeline script. So if you copy this, again go back to the script and put it here. So it's easy to generate the script. Under pipeline syntax, apply save. Now, open BlueOcean. This is very important. Once we try to execute these stages, we have an open BlueOcean plugin which we have to install on top of Jenkins, which will give the representation of the pipeline in a more pictorial way. That's the only benefit of this pipeline script. You can open this. This is the advantage of the BlueOcean, where you can have multiple stages. Right now we created download code. After download code, we can execute test cases. After executing test cases, you can even deploy the code. Suppose if we are interested to execute the test cases as part of the pipeline script, that's also possible. What we have to do, especially if you want to download the code, once we download the code, we have to execute the test cases for that. So if you want to execute the test cases, the Selenium test cases, which we are already downloaded the Git repository, we maximize this here. So if you want to download, if you want to execute the test cases which are already downloaded from the Git repository, which is available here. So what we have to do is we have to write some steps. Again, we will try to take the help of pipeline syntax. Click on pipeline syntax, it will open successfully here. Let me click on pipeline syntax, it opens it. So first thing what we have to do is, if you look into our repository, the Git repository, our pom.xml file is available under Selenium Automation Framework. But the workspace is pointing to this location. So we have to navigate to this directory. Then only we can execute the Maven test cases, right? So for that reason, what we do here is we will try to use one sample step as change directory. Change directory. Here we have to provide the path. As I said already, there are some environmental variables already available. One of the environmental variable is say $env dot workspace, which will point to workspace in the case of scripted, slash, and also we need to provide this folder name, because this folder name contains the pom.xml file. We have to give the path exactly where the pom.xml file is there. This I'll copy this, I'll put it here like this. Now click on generate pipeline script. We got the script that is getting generated here. So in this directory we are going to execute one command to execute the test cases, that is mvn clean test. So let me put this step here first. Before I go ahead, let me put this step here. So I'll just copy this step. Now we need to put some block of code here to execute our test cases. So how are we going to execute test cases? To execute our test cases, we need to say mvn clean test. For mvn clean test, again we need to take the help of this snippet generator. I'll just select here, this is a batch command, Windows batch command. Let me try to select Windows batch command. Here I'll put here as mvn clean test. So I'll just put here as mvn clean generate pipeline script. We got the script, and here we will mention here executing. Let me copy this one now. Go to our script and put the code here. So with this one I'll put executing Selenium test. So that's it. If you try to put these steps, then it successfully execute the test cases. One stage is download the code. Second stage is executing the test cases. Click on apply, say save, try to build now. Just open the first build. Just open it now. There is an error. Let's see what is the error now. Okay, let's see the error now. We just clicked on it. There is an error now. What is the error? Let's see. Console output. Okay, there is a syntax error. Why? Because we didn't put the curly braces. For a stage, we need to put the curly braces, and this stage contains steps. Did we put steps? No, we just put the stage. So it's always important under stage, we have to put steps. Under steps, this has to be added. This is the syntax we have to follow. Under stage, we have steps. Then we put one more curly braces. That's it. This will help us to execute the code and get the result successfully. Click on build now. Then just click on the 13th job. Let's see what is the outcome now. Let's see the console. The code is getting downloaded successfully. See the code download successful. You can see the message. And also we are going to execute the test cases. This is the folder. Okay. Then it is looking for the pom.xml file. I think that is not available. Let me try to check what happened now. Let's go back to the script now. Did we give correct or not? Let's see. Configure. It is environment dot workspace. Yes, this is right. This is the location where we are moving. Okay, so now if you see here, there is a single quotation. Let's change the single quotation to double quotation, because it will try to take this as a one entire string, but during execution this will be replaced with the path apply, save, build now, check now. You can just open this job, click on console output now. We can identify whether the code is downloaded successful. Yes, it is successful. And are we picking the path? Yes, the path is getting picked now successfully, and we are able to execute mvn clean test. So the job is getting executed. Now it will try to execute the test cases as well, because it is able to find pom.xml. It is downloading all the dependencies. So this is how you have to generate the script using a snippet generator, and it will be helpful for us to generate the script. So I will try to copy this also in the notepad for your information. This will be available in the description of the video. You can also try to download and use it. And one more thing what I have to show you is here, if you go to open Blue Ocean, the open Blue Ocean will show two OpenBlueOcean will show two stages now, not the one stage, because we have two stages. One stage is for download code, second stage is for downloading the executing test cases. Click on the 15th one. It is still running. See, the execute tests are getting triggered. This is the one which I want to show you guys, and this is the MVN clean test executing Selenium test case. Execute expand is, you can see the logs are getting executed for this stage specifically. Suppose for the download code, if you want to see the logs for this stage, click on that, scroll down, and you see here that the logs specifically for a specific stage. That is the advantage in the case of OpenBlueOcean. For a specific stage, if you click on it and scroll down, you can see the logs for the specific stage, not all the logs. Now let's go back to the script. I'll just copy the script and keep it in the notepad for your information. Then the next thing is running Jenkins file via GitHub. This is very simple. We copy this code in the Jenkins. Right now, let me try to select this, then put it in notepad. This is already added, but let me try to put some other information. The entire information I'll put it. Anyway, this is not proper. I will try to put a proper way in the description. You can also refer to this code and try to get information about the script. I'll just do indentation of it as of now. Afterwards, I'll share with you these stages. Okay. Yeah. Next, OpenBlueOcean, we are able to see the stage view, the pipeline view of the stages in OpenBlueOcean. Now running the Jenkins file via GitHub. So what we are going to do now is, we will go to our GitHub repository. Okay, we will add a file, create new file. We'll put the file name as Jenkins file, and the content is this content. We will try to keep this content. So we will mention here adding Jenkins file. Just commit new file. That's it. The file name is Jenkins file. It is available in our repository. We can see here. It is available in our repository. So now go to our pipeline script. Instead of we write the script, we can see there is an option pipeline script for SCM. You can see there is an option pipeline script from SCM. Just select that and provide the location. That's a Git repository. What is the repository here? The repository URL. It's already there. The repository URL. You can find the repository URL from here. Go to the framework project and get the repository URL. Go to Git repository. Close. All right. Now here, what is the branch name? Credentials are not required. We just need a branch name. What is the branch name? The branch name is, say, modify license branch. Provide this branch here. That's it. And what is the file name? Jenkins file. Apply, save. So what is happening? What is the advantage of maintaining the Jenkins information in Jenkins file? We are not updating the script. The script is automatically part of your GitHub repository. Apply, save, try to run now. You can even execute the script directly via Jenkins, which is stored in GitHub. You can scroll down and see. That is the information. I think it is failing to some reason. Let's see that. So it is unable to find Jenkins from Git. Okay, so we need to provide the location of the Jenkins file also. The path, what is the path here? The path is the Selenium automation framework is a folder. Under this folder we have this, copy this now, provide this path /Jenkins file. Click on apply, save and re-trigger again. And let's see what is the failure again. So unable to find Selenium automation framework Jenkins from Git. Are we downloading this code? Let's see that now. Let's try to see the configuration. Okay, so one mistake what we have done is the Jenkins file name is not capital J, it's a small j. That is a mistake we have done. Otherwise it will work successfully, because if you see the repository also you have given, so Jenkins file is a small j. Usually should give a small j or capital J, anything is fine. Apply, save. Standard is capital J, but anyway we had given small j, you can update it afterwards. Click on build now. Now the job is getting successful, and you can see the content now. The code is getting downloaded successfully. So this is how you can maintain the code in the GitHub, in the Jenkins file, not to update the script as part of the job. So it is successfully running, and you can see the stages also getting updated successfully here once it is getting running. Okay, so this will be helpful for you to understand GitHub, Jenkins and Selenium, the integration part and running the scripts via Jenkins. I hope this video will be very helpful for you to understand all the concepts of Jenkins. If you like my video,